All right. So this is a draft review for Bueno81, Friendly Sealed League. One thing to note is this is quick draft. So this is quick draft on Arena, and the trick here is that you wonder if anyone watching this is unfamiliar. Obviously, Magic Draft. I'm not going to go through all that, but quick draft is different than premier draft. First of all, it's best of one. Remember, there's a hand smoother, which we all hate, but hand smoother, best of one on Arena, so you're going to get the distribution, draws a few hands, and you get the most smoothed distribution for land expectation. It's not necessarily a fair draw. So it's something to keep in mind. Sometimes you can cut a land or something, and sometimes I feel that if you try to go tricolor, weird stuff happens because you don't necessarily get an even number. But at any rate, not going to worry about that too much. I'm just going to go through this as if it was Premier Draft Best of One, which has the hand smoother. But the key thing here, the key difference that I didn't get to yet, but the key difference is Quick Draft versus Premier Draft is that Quick Draft is against bots in the draft portion, meaning that they're basically they're always trying to make two-color decks, which in this format is fine because most people, I would assume, or at least people you're drafting against on Arena, will be making two-color decks, but they're largely going to go with the popularity of certain cards, and like if you were doing on Draft Sim or something and doing like a thing. So that's something important to keep in mind, because what may wheel and like more, I wouldn't say it's complicated, but just that aside, just keep that in mind, that when you go to play Premier Draft, that it's going to be a little bit, which is generally what I play. I don't really do Quick Draft, but it's nice to Quick Draft because there's no timer. But that does make it a little different. So, all right, so we're going to go through Brano's draft, see if we can help him out a little bit and give them something to work with on their next attempt. Maybe we'll look at a couple of the games too and just see where we're at. So all right, so the first card here is, oh yeah, if for instance anyone wants to play along and can't see the cards very well, that is the link. Oh, you can't see chat. Can I fix chat? Is it possible to pick? This one says chat opaque. There you go. It's over my face, but it doesn't really matter. You don't need to see my face. But all right. So, what are we looking at here? So this is an Invasion of Alaria. It's not really my favorite card. So I can make the overlay a little bit bigger here. It's just going to cut it off regardless. Is that what we're going to get here? Yeah, it's the best. In true Pawn Star style, best they could do. So Invasion of Alaria, it does a whole bunch of stuff. It's quite nice. The problem is it's 5-color. I really don't like it. The only time I lose to it is, I don't know. It's just rough. It's very much a. You can certainly do it in this set. I've seen people do it. Like, what does it even do again? Exile. Exile 2 cards until it has to be mana value 4 or less. You're already getting like two Froges for it. 2 of the 3/2 frogs. You cast one of those, only one without paying its mana cost. The other one you draw. So it's draw 2, play 1 for free. And if you manage to flip this card's really bad. This card's hard to play. So one of the things in this set is the battles. Like, this thing is probably never flipping unless you've already destroyed somebody. Like, it has 7 health. Like, the ones that have 3, 4 are a lot more likely to flip than 5, 5 and 6. Really, 5 is just about as bad as 6 because of the amount of things that are 2s and 3s in the format. Like, you likely have to hit it 2 or 3 times, whereas the 3s and 4s, 3 might have only hit once, which is a big difference. So this is probably never flipping unless you've already won the game, and you can't even use the render inert black 2 and a black, remove up to 5 counters to flip it for free behind their defense. So other interesting cards here. Storm the Seed Core potentially makes kind of a bonkers silly deck. This guy's not bad, Shauna. Kind of might wheel though. I don't know, none of the cards are particularly good. This Gremlin's okay, but we're kind of on like, I wouldn't say filler level, but like almost the 2 drops are almost better. The Gremlin's fine, Thespian's fine, but these are commons. Like I want to take commons, pack one, pick one. If you're just making for your collection that you're taking this, there's nothing in here that's like, oh my god, so good. Storm the Seed Core does make kind of a bully you over deck. Don't discount the fact that it gives it Vigi trample, trample and four counters wherever you want. It's pretty devastating in some. So we didn't know about this pick. This kind of, you just keep a note of it. Even the hopper is fair, to be honest. But probably take one of the uncommons and just hope, unless you want the 20 gems. All right, second pick. I guess I could hide the pick. We won't worry about hiding the picks this time. So we took the Marshall. Okay. I really don't like blue-white, but I mean, Ham's winning a lot with it. What else do I like here? Converter Beast is okay. This Berserker I actually like a lot better than the Zelafir, but that's a little bit of a preference. Both these black cards are fine. This guy draws 2, or draws 1, and there's a lot of ways to like get him back in black. So you can just draw cards a lot with him. This is a common, but this red cap's pretty good. It's probably one of the better red cards. And largely everything else here is pretty forgettable. This Order of the Mirror, you kind of like to go with this guy, but it's not been that good for me. I mean, if he flips, he's better because he has the flanking ability with the -1. But this Marshall's fine. Invasion of Zerex, that's okay. This Vat Keeper still being here is a bit unusual to me, just because I like these colors. But like, I think white is really bad in this set, and red is really bad in this set. You can't win with it. It's just that there's not a whole lot to. I mean, if you're playing the night deck, white blue, and you get hooked up, you're great. But if you're not, you're not. What else is nice here? I'd probably take the Vat Keeper here, to be honest. I really don't like white blue. It has the lowest. So is it the lowest win rate in the set? Not that that always means everything, but this is a good card if you're in it. But I mean, its effect isn't terribly great. I mean, it lets you pick up something. If you flip it, that's nice. But if you don't have a lot of creatures in play, it's not that good. But anywho, so Vat Keeper. What else do I like here? There's clearly some knights here. You're gonna want to try to pick up one of those on the wheel. Some nice red stuff here, but it's not like screaming good. To me, it's pretty much the Vat Keeper. This Temporal Cleansing is something you like to pick up if you're playing blue. And everything else is kind of at the filler level. Breeding Champion probably is the winner here. This isn't very good. It's a bit surprising that this Kenra Spell Spear is still here, pick 4. There's still the Streetwise Negotiator here. These 2 cards are premium, but Breeding Champion probably beats them, but it should be noted that both of these cards made it to pick 4. There's nothing else here to really care about. I already noted this guy. He's okay. He's nowhere near as good as the other 3 cards, though. These cards are almost signals to me at this point that one of these colors I definitely should be playing, and the fact that this green card is still here tells me that I should probably take the green stuff. This printing is really good, though. So we're going to go with a Protocol Knight common. I don't know about that. That battle's terrible. I really like the Ravenous Sailback. I might like it more than other players, but there's so many, like, even just blowing up somebody's 5 counter Phyrexian token is fantastic for that. Rona's terrible. Stoke is actually really good and an uncommon here, but I don't know how much you decide your colors. I don't really decide my colors in this set until a lot later than probably others do, but I've been lately sticking to 2 colors, and it seems to pay off a little bit more than staying wide open. But I don't like this card. I don't really care about this card. I don't think this card's particularly good. So really the only card I think I have right now is a Breeding Champion. So I would just take the Sailback, or maybe even the Stoke and move on. But you took the Protocol Knight, so you might be trying to force yourself into the Knight archetype a little hard here. Which is, I mean, that's what you want to do, but I don't like that archetype. Ham's winning with it, but I'm not very good at it, I guess. Alright, we take the Knight. But keep in mind, we did pass, like, Magic writes cards, like, uncommons in theory. It's not always true, because Rona's pretty bad. But, like, uncommons should be better than commons, and rares should be better than uncommons. That doesn't mean that, you know, like, this pick's okay. I just think you are giving up a little bit of capital to not take the sail back because it's potentially a 2-for-1. And Stoke the Flames it's pretty powerful in this format to be able to throw 4 damage anywhere with Convoke, whereas this doesn't have Convoke. But you get the tap. I mean, the goal of that Knights deck is to basically tap people down with the Bolas and Knights, start beating on people. But there really isn't a lot of white in these packs. It's good, like stuff that's really good. Okay, so Fearless Scald. This backup double strike is kind of interesting, but it's expensive. I don't remember this battle being particularly good. It's okay. If you're in white-black, it's fine, I guess, but it's not that exciting. Really nothing else exciting in this pack. Sometimes I like the Timber. Sometimes I like Ham and Lola, 2 prominent drafters in this set that are doing very well. They really don't like these land cyclers. I use them a lot, but I also tend to play 3 colors more, so sometimes they help with fixing. Final Flourish is the best card here. You should take this card. Alright, so there's still a Furnace Rains here in pick 7, so that kind of tells me that a lot of red cards are available, and we kind of look, okay, do we try to run some type of blue-red, like that's open? Not exactly excited about our white situation. All we really have is this Marshal. I don't really like those are 2 cards. But you go with the Cavalier, which it is part of that archetype. But again, we're taking a common over some uncommons. But for me, I definitely consider the Furnace Rains here. There really isn't anything else here, though. Like, I can understand taking the Cavalier, but you're definitely shoehorning yourself into playing blue-white. This Invasion of Regatha is really good. Or if you're playing red, that's a really good card. There's really, all these other cards are terrible. Renata's really not that good. This card's never worked for me. Part of the issue is it's got the double pip, and it also comes in on turn 4 at the earliest. So that makes it a bit rough. You also have no other green cards, and this is double pip, so you're committing to playing green with no, or almost, we're good through all the good stuff in pack 1. You don't have anything else to go with it. So I would have taken the Regatha here and still considered just fixing into red, because again we have one. Okay, this Cavalier is one of the better 2-drops in the set, but we don't really have like enough white for me to be like, man, I'm playing white. Like none of the Preening Champion is the Preening Champion, and then the Final Flourish are the only 2 cards I care about in what you have so far. That's not because what you drafted. It's just that's just the cards that were available. Okay, what else we got here? So we take the Surge. This is one of those protect spells. I don't think it's as good as the Angelic +1 counter, but I mean it serves its purpose. So this thing down here is the cards we are missing. So we know someone took the Alabaster. You may not remember these. It's kind of a weird. Like Lola remembers this all the time. I just remember like 1 card from it. Like, hey, there was this really good white card and it's gone now. I would remember that the Alabaster's gone and the Seed Core is gone. Shauna is still here, which tells me that I don't really want to play green-white, but it's there. I'd probably take the Halo Hopper here or the Thespian to fill a 2-drop, because at the moment we have a 2-drop that's a gold card, and we have a 2-drop that's in white, which means if we don't play white, we're completely screwed. We have zero 2-drops. So I'd probably take the Thespian here or the Hopper. It's not a 2-drop, but Hopper's at least doesn't really care about anything else, and this card's nice, but kind of forgettable. But it works in the archetypes, I get it. I don't find this card very good. I know it says Knight on it, but I've never had this card work out for me. All these other... This card's playable with black, but it's really not amazing. Converter Beast still being here is a bit of a signal to me, because no one... I guess there could have been a... We know these are missing, so there were no other green cards, so no one took this card. This card's a lot better than people give it credit for. It gives you a free blocker, it gives you a 5/5. And this healer is still here too. These 2 cards being here still are signals to me. I guess there was a Rawls Reinforcements, that's another good red card. But I'd probably be taking the Converter Beast. Just because I don't think that Knight's particularly good. I mean, to me, it's not even going to make the cut of the deck. Taking the Potent Tracker. He's alright. It's a 2-drop. But its goal is to ramp, and we currently have nothing to ramp into. Its goal is to play it on turn 2 and then play on turn 3 something that costs 4, 5, etc. And because it's certainly not doing anything as a 1/1. I'd almost be contented to take the Converter Beast over it. It's been really good in the games that it connects, and it's been not useful in the games that it doesn't. I'd rather just have like the what you call it guy, uh, like the streetwise guy, the guy the toughness is your strength guy. The Traxxas Fall. See, I guess I'm probably never playing this card. Not in best of one, anyways. It'd be a good sideboard card for best of three. I mean, the red cap still being here is a bit shocking. None of these cards. Yeah, I guess the Attentive Skywarden can make the deck, but none of these cards are being played. Same here. This, well, if you're in the red archetype, this card is fine. I still don't find it very good. And then the land. All right, pack 2. All right, what's the rare? Baral, and this is a whenever you cast, blah blah blah. Oh, this one makes the legendary monkey. He's okay. This card's kind of bad though. It has First Strike and Menace, which is nice, but we're not really in this archetype, so. There's another Invasion of Xerax, which is, if we're really going to play blue-white, I guess that's okay. Merciless Repurposing, we don't have any black cards, but that is a really good black card. What does this one do? Oh, this is the one that taps and you get the +X that like no one ever gets. I don't think this card's very good. There's a Cosmic Hunger. That's a pretty good card. This is a Knight. Don't forget that Infected Defector is a Knight. Ooh, this Dune. So if we're playing Knights, this Dune Shaper is really good. It's just a really good white card. Fixing with the Surveyor. I mean, if I'm really shoehorning myself into playing white, I guess I'm taking the Pacify, this Rumbreaker's Grasp. But I'm just not really feeling the white blue here. Like, we're one pack in. We have 1, 2. We have a Knight I don't want to play that I don't think is very good. We have a Cavalier, 1 Marshal, a Breeding Champion, and a Protocol Knight. Is that enough for me to want to play that deck? I need 23 playables and I have 4. These are fine, but I mean, these are like, I don't want to play these cards. Like I want like 2 aerial boosts or something. Aerial boost or a protect spell. But I guess you're taking this. If it were me though, I'd probably be looking at what can I do with green. Like I'd take the Cosmic Hunger and basically dunk all this blue-white stuff. Ooh, Norn's Inquisitor, that's a really good card. There's another Invasion. Anything else here I like? This Oracle's really good if you're playing blue. If you're playing red, this ship is a lot better than people give it credit for. You'd like if you're playing Knights, you kind of want to get this Knight back, and everything else here is kind of bad. Inga's fine, but like everything else here is pretty much filler. So Norn's really good for what we're trying to do. Another Pacify. There's another Xerax. You could have had 3 Xeraxes. So with our color situation, this Blighted Burgeoning, no, you're taking the Pacify, it's better. You'd really like to wield one of these two, though. I don't know for sure what we're playing. I'm guessing you're going to kind of shoehorn yourself into white-blue. Alright. Another Norn's Inquisitor. So this Captive Weird is a really good card. There's still a Converter Beast here. There's a Hopper, but really the Weird and the Norn are the only 2 actual good cards in this pack. Besides, like, serving deck purposes, like Surveyor and stuff, I'm not gonna. But, like, power cards that I care a lot about, it's those 2. Volcanic Spite. Why are we taking Volcanic Spite? This card's okay. This battle. This guy's still here. The Scornblade guy. We're like pick 5. This card's way better. I gotta remember we're playing Quick Draft too, so some of these cards just have no love in the bots. This is a Knight, this Order of the Mirror. The pick here is probably Order of the Mirror. Potential to take the dual land here if for some reason you really hate this card or are choosing to not play blue at all. But you have this Knight. You should be playing blue. I don't know why we're taking this Spite. This Spite is really good, but I don't know where we're playing red. Now we're taking the dual land. I don't quite follow that. Halo Hopper, Halo Forger. Halo Hopper, because of the frog. Huh, that's funny. The Halo Forager is a really, really good card. We're not in those colors, but it's like that's like splash worthy for me in the set if there was if I had an easy way to splash it. Um, Phyrexian Sensor is probably the best card here for you because it slows down your opponents. Slows down you too, I guess, but um, assuming that you're beating somebody down, you play this, and their defenses can't come in to help them, so it helps you stay ahead. Potential to take the Tide Terror, because the Tide Terror will let you fish for that island that you need. I don't know. This Bloodfell Caves feels very adventurous to take here because I'm not playing that volcanic thing. If you're playing green, the Serpent Blade's okay, but I'd say the Phyrexian's probably better. That's a Death Touch. I don't know. If I was like splash everything, Halo Forger's the best card here, but since we've kind of decided our colors, you probably have to take the Censor here. There's really nothing else to be playing. I guess take the title terror, but that's kind of the wrong deck. Like if we're gonna run people over, we want to have it's the 3/3 for 3. I don't know what else more you want, and it does some things that might help you, particularly because you have the Norn guy. Norn guy is a Phyrexian, he makes a token, and other tokens you get. You have two of them as well. Yeah, the Phyrexian's definitely the pick here because these don't tap. He comes into play untapped, and the tokens come into play untapped. We're taking the Knight. This Enduring Bond Warden was tough. Do you have a lot of counter stuff? Yeah, you don't really have that many counter things. This guy's underrated though. Nothing else here is remotely playable. Just take the Protocol Knight. Again, the Furnace Rains here is like telling me like, man, there's so many fun red things it could be doing. Oh, Angelic Intervention. That'll let you replace the Surge. Is there anything else here we care about? No. There's nothing else here. For what the deck archetype we're playing now? No, it's not anything else. Okay. For the Defector is a Phyrexian. I'm taking the Dune Shaper here. This card is disgusting, and I don't know how this is printed at common. For 4 mana, so you pay 5 mana and you get a 4/3 with Trample, and you get it on the first turn if you get it. Really. Oh, we already saw this pack. Yeah, there's nothing else in here. You take one of these, but the Knight deck needs to run people over, and I found that this 5-cost card is it's just too expensive. But I get the idea with the synergy with the Phyrexian stuff. So, oh, we didn't take that, so no, we didn't. I don't get that. I'm taking the Dune Shaper. It's really good. Run people over, win faster. This battle wheeled on the table. That should be like, whoa, no, nobody, because the bots try to simulate a real draft, so they all pick basically a color seat based on, I guess, what they open, or at least they all pick a color seat, and that's what they take. So this coming around tells you you should be fed good red cards. But yeah, you take this Knight Coalition. Is this Seraph any good? This Seraph's been bad every time I've seen it. Yeah, take this Knight. Another Angelic Intervention. There's no other cards here. We're not. I'm assuming we're not playing the green. If we were playing the green, I'd take the Burgeoning because this lets you splash. This card's really good. It also incubates too. I mean, it's potentially possible here. You could have just cycled your whole deck into. Let's not worry about Knights because we really don't have much synergy with that. Let's just. I mean, the Protocol Knights are nice, but you really don't have. You only have one Anthem with them. 1+1. You're missing, like, the key thing this deck is missing is the Bola Knights. They're not Knights, the Bola Slingers or whatever. They tap stuff when they attack, back up 1. They're really critical to this deck working, I feel, which is ironic because there's not a lot of, because they're not Knights, so they don't synergize with Knight stuff. But I guess you can take this if you're really going to shoehorn it, but I'd be on the Burgeoning here and trying to salvage something out of, let's try to, well, I guess we're not really getting a green base, but I think I would have had a few more non-white cards to work with. None of these cards matter. None of these cards matter. I mean, you could have taken. You're probably not playing this, but none of these cards matter. You're probably not playing that. None of those cards. You're not playing any of those cards. Hey, Progenitor. Oh man, if you took the Phyrexian Censor, you'd be all set. Is there anything else here we care about? Another Forager. Meeting of the Minds is a good card. There's really only 2 cards here for you. Everything else is kind of whatever. These 2 cards are fine, but I'm not sure they're going to make the cut because you don't really have... The Bond Warden doesn't really have a lot of friends to work with. Back 2. We're taking the Shark. Oh yeah, sure, you're still supposed to be... What's interesting, you don't really have a lot of blue cards, but you do have... You know, this is a really good blue card. And the other 3 are playables. Oh, you have the Knight too, of course. But honestly, considering you have all this stuff to go with Norn's Inquisitor, yeah, Shark's fine. If Aerial Boost wheels, you need to take Aerial Boost. Like if you were in super, nah, you're still taking this. This card is disgusting. This Chrome Post Street Shark is the Seed Shark. Okay. We did it on time here. How long are we doing this? 20 minutes. Oh, I gotta wrap this up. Yeah, another Pacify is okay. What is this card again? Oh, this is it's flanking or whatever, the +2 haste, whatever, that battle's bad. There really aren't any other cards here for you, so you take the Pacify. The Dual Land. Is the Dual Land what I want here? Probably not. How are we doing on 2 drops? 1, 2, 3. These are both 1/1s, which is kind of not great. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not playing the red. We only have 4 2-drops. I'm not. This is a case I wouldn't take the Dual Land. I'd take the Aerialist. This is a really good card. This Aerialist is really good. Well, I really don't want to play Assimilate Essence in my 2-drop slot, but it does incubate 2 if they counter it. But Assimilate Essence is actually a really good card too. But just because I don't have a lot of things at 2, so there's a good chance I'll pass turn 2 and then just use this to counter their creature or battle, or just hang on to it, slow the game down. Aerialist is the pick for me here with our current deck archetype. Tiller of Flash. I don't really like this card. I understand it's a knight. I understand that there's just not a lot of cards you have that target you, right? Okay, if you run Surge, that's 1. Well, you have 3 Angelics. I guess that's fair. I suppose that's fair. I just found him expensive and he's a 2/4 for 4, so if it doesn't like think about it this way, like there are some creatures in this set that are like you should get at least 4 attack power for 4 mana. You have to like do something and it's not on the same creature, right? So like you can't attack with it. It's a very defensive card, and the object with Knight deck is to run people over, so I find this card to be very opposite what you're trying to do. So you need to have something disgusting that targets your guys a million times to make a lot of stuff. But I get the idea. I mean, if you get 1 payoff and you have a Norn's Inquisitor in play, okay, you get a 3/3. You get 2 in play, which is probably not happening, but could. That gets you a 4/4. But I don't like it at all. I'd take this Astral Wingspan. As long as you don't get blown out with it, it draws you a card and potentially puts somebody over your opponent. I believe it also works with the Shark. Yeah, it works with the Shark. It would make you a 5/5. There's nothing else here, right? Like this Scroll Shift sometimes is playable, but it's big back draws. It only works on your own stuff. It flickers something, which, I mean, doing to like the Oracle Knight or something can be quite valuable, but it's difficult to make work in these kind of decks. Another Billy Rider. I don't think he's very good. I'd probably take the Halberd. I don't know. The 17 Lancer doesn't give me a creature count, but like if I'm already at about 15 creatures, I'm taking the Halberd. But are we kind of hurting for creatures? 3-drop slot is always like really bad in like sets lately. I'd almost take this Expedition Lookout over the Knight. That's how disappointing this Knight is, but I don't want to be like too defensive. Probably take the Seraph. The Seraph actually probably plays better than Knight because this guy actually can probably get in for 2 damage. And if he flips and then you need to sacrifice something to get in for 5 damage, I mean that's pretty significant. This guy's never getting in for damage. He's really a 2/3 in disguise that costs you 3, which trades poorly in this set, and you don't really have a whole lot of ways to... Like, if you had a way to, like, put 4 counters on him, okay, maybe, but the card doesn't work well on its own. Another pacify. That gives us a whole lot of pacify. I'd probably take the Cavalier here because we have no 2-drops. These guys have a hard. When I understand, it takes 2 turns. It kind of takes 2 turns to activate them, and you're looking to pressure somebody as quickly as you can. So the Phyrexian thing kind of works more in the control aspect than, I don't know. I think I'm taking the Cavalier here. This is what's turned out to be a pretty premium 2-drop in the set, particularly with you. I mean, ideally your goal is to draw this, play it on turn 2, and then play Premium Champion turn 3, and your opponent's under a lot of pressure to waste premium removal just to slow the game down. So, although this card's fine, Pacify is, just remember, like, Pacify is like not the greatest removal spell. And you need 2s really bad, which would be the reason I'd take the Cavalier. This is an uncommon, so we're not taking this for gems. Why are we taking the Invasion? This is a good card. It's just never playing in this deck. Take the Sun. You needed the Sunder. So this is a 2-draw. Like you have the token synergies. Take the Sunder. Because this card occasionally comes in handy. It's always nice to have a card that does a couple different things. Understand though, of course, that the non-token artifact rule comes into play, but sometimes somebody will try to flip a battle on you that turns into an enchantment that doesn't hurt you for a while. You just have to get rid of it. This can let you get rid of it, and you also get a 2/2 for it. Sometimes some of these rares in the set have creatures that are enchantments. These special rares that came from Planar Legends or whatever this bonus card that they add in all the packs. Some of them are enchantments, so you can just kill them with this, which is a massive bonus. It also just gives you a 2/2, except if you have a Norn in play, it's actually a 3/3. You don't have a lot of Convokes, this Owen Hawk isn't really that good. And there's always Eye of Grixis. This card just gives you an Incubate 3 and draw 3. Draw a card and Incubate 3, which could be 4 or 5 with the synergy. So I'd probably take the Eye. I think the Eye of Grixis here is better than the Sunder, but because you have no 2-drops, this is just a 2/2, and you need to pressure people early, so I'd take the Sunder. Well, Meeting in the Minds, we already have enough Angelic Interventions. And we already have 2. We already have 2. Like, take Meeting of Minds. Like, obviously we want to be attacking, but still, this lets us reload our hand when we run out of stuff. And I think it helps you here. Because we're pretty weak. We gotta find an advantage somewhere. And it's not, well, no, it's not, we can't run this many. Four protect spells seems rough. Take the draw 2, that can be convoked. I don't find this card very good. Again, this is the problem with it being 5, and if it was 4, it's a little bit more likely to flip. It does draw you a card, but it's like you paid 3 to draw a card and gain 4 life, and your job is to win the game as quickly as possible. It doesn't affect the board state, which is rough. And then if you manage to flip it, you get a Sarah Angel. Okay. Is there anything else here I'd take though? No. I'm probably not playing this though. I don't think this card's very good. We're not playing Dina. I mean, just for your collection, which is fine. We're not playing any of these cards. We're not playing any of these cards. You can take the charge, but I don't think we're playing 2 of them. This is, yeah. We're playing any of these? No. Okay, so that's our deck. It's telling me what the possible main deck is. Well, I sip some water here. Is there anything it disincluded? Yeah, I would stick to 2 colors here, because there really isn't anything that's truly amazing here. I think I would have ended up in some type of blue-green-black, or maybe even like some kind of blue-red. Probably would have taken that Rawls reinforcement earlier, but I don't know. So that's the draft portion. Let's look at what your deck was that you built. What did we end up cutting? Alright, so we're running the Tranquil Cove, which you took. Okay, that's cool. We're running 10 plains, 8 islands. 10 plains, 8 islands. I think that's fine. You could probably even go 11. You really don't have that many blue cards, but you would like to be able to play this when it's relevant. So this would scare me a lot, because we have 0 bolas, and we have one of these boosts, and pretty much everything else is pretty forgettable. How many creatures? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or any pseudo creatures, I'll count those 2. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're a little bit low on creatures. We do have a whole bunch of ways to freeze people's stuff. What is in the sideboard? I think Tiller has to play, and I dump the Surge of Salvation. I don't think it's very good. I'd probably play the Scroll Shift as well and dump one of these Angelic Interventions, just to have some variety in my choices. Sometimes this Scroll Shift completely ruins somebody. Like if somebody plays a Pacify, but I didn't have mana that turn, you know, I could surprise them by flipping the Preening Champion back and getting a blocker or something, and potentially flipping a board state. It also lets you, I believe, run Zerex again, right? It does not target a battle. But say, for instance, your Paladin's a 1/1 and you have anything in play, you need to remove some big token. There's ways to make Scroll Shift do silly things. So I'd probably put the Tiller and the Scroll Shift in over the Surge and one of the Angelics. Is there any other card that we'd run here? Not really. Bit of a rough deck, but that was the changes I would make. Let's look at one of the matches and see if there's anything that's weird's happening. We tried one of the losses. This one took 16 turns to win. Let's try this one. Let's try a win and a loss, and then we'll call it. So we drew Exarch. Well, we have one hell of a hand here. All right, let's go. How do I do steps? Okay, this is decent pace. All right, play a land. I'll just pause it if I need to. We make our token. They play the Surveil guy. Okay, we flip the token. We hit them. Simple enough. What do we have in hand right now? Did we have a 3-play? No. Okay, drop the land. Play the shark. This is going great. They're now down to like 12. Okay. I don't watch a lot of replays in 17 lands, so I'm just looking for this interesting point here. Okay, so we play the knight. We don't have a knight in play, right? So this is going to be a single. No, we have a knight. Phyrexian guy. Okay, they're a little bit screwed here, and they tap themselves out, so they can't flip the knight, flip the token. So they're just, this game's over. So this is what your deck this is exactly the game what you would like this deck to do. It doesn't have a lot of ways out if they manage to stabilize this game. All right, so let's go back. Let's look at the how did we lose? Hello? Oh. So we're on the draw, which is already, so notice that, so you were on the play twice, then you were on the draw and lost those two, and then you're on the play room. Let's see what one of these losses is like. Well, first of all, mulligan decision. Okay, this hand is really bad. I mean, mulliganing kind of sucks, so okay, I get that. I'm not sure I'd mulligan this, but this hand is basically the result of what happened in the draft. We didn't have a lot of 2-drops, and we have a whole lot of pacifies, these realm breakers. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, we took the mulligan. I probably would have kept it because I'm like, well, at least their first 3 things don't get to play, but it could go all wrong. XCR can't make anything, so now we're just kind of losing. And so we turn 3 past. I mean, it's not like anything here is like, well, this makes what, 2? We'd make 1/3/3. That's really weak. Yeah, we don't like that. We have no way of replaying it. See, if we had Scroll Shift wouldn't help us. Oh god, we're gonna get beat down by, was it Rona, whatever their name is. Yeah. Okay, so we play the knight without. I like that. I like this. Yeah, I guess this is okay. I kind of expect this knight to get. So here's the issue of what's about to happen to you. This is, so let me explain what I would do. I have 3 copies of this card. If I really felt I was in a bad situation, there's a lot of they have blue, and this set blue's really good. And unfortunately, like if they have that um the pick a surveil 2 pick a card up if it's cheaper, if it's tacking thing, the little instant, like Realm Breakers is really weak to that. So that comprises most of your hand, which makes this a little bit difficult. But like one of the if you didn't like you should be considering the other moves you have here, because the problem with playing the knight is you have a protection spell in your hand, which is its defense is down while it's their turn, and blue black, and you're playing your first creature out, it's probably getting bopped. So if this gets bopped, you're getting hit for 6 damage, and it's going to be a bad time. But you could put the Realm Breaker on the Rona, which is not a very good card, but it keeps you getting beat down. And also, if it gets, well, they're not going to take it out of their discard pile. I don't know. But you could also just spend 4 mana on your turn and freeze these 2 cards to just slow them down. Maybe they don't have a creature in their hand; they just have interaction. They just have a bunch of removal spells. Maybe you can get some of that. It is a tough situation. But it looks like they're about to play Aya Grixis. Is that what's happening here? They played Aya Grixis. They lose 1 damage, whatever. And they're able to flip it on your turn. But you see, you did slow them down. You only took 3 damage that turn. We're going to play Axiarch for 4, 3. You make 2 3/3s. That's right. So, it's rough. And you got Derision on your dude that flips things for free. Kind of whatever. Oh no, that was the knight. Is that the knight going away? Yeah, so you lost the knight. So this is exactly what I said. So on this last turn, let's go back. Perhaps a better play here was to free some stuff, because you can actually keep in mind these Realm Breakers. You can actually enchant the incubators so they can't. They can't even flip, but they won't be able to attack if they flip. So that's a thought. Although there's obviously a 3/4 here, so it's a 3/3. But it's entirely possible on my turn here. I was again probably freezing the Rona and the Preener to just lessen the damage and buy myself some more time. Being unable to flip anything and unable to defend anything is really vulnerable. And sometimes you can get a good swing if you can defend something. So instead, we're going to take 8 damage. It's going to be kind of a sad time. So we draw the Norn Inquisitor. That's kind of our dream draw. So we don't have any land, which kind of is a bummer, because then we could flip these 2, make 2 4/4s, and maybe still be playing Magic. Instead, wow, this is a rough turn. So like we need to go back again. So we're on turn 6 now. The Norn is really tempting to play. I get that. The problem is that you're on 6 health. This thing in the air is going to keep beating you, and surely like they have more interaction in their hand because they're just blue-black. You have to deal with this flyer, like, because we didn't. So like if understand like 3 turns ago, if we had just Realm Breakers, the 3/4 and the 2/2, we were taking what? This has now hit us 3 times. The Rona hit us once or twice. So like there's like 10. I would say 10. We'll say like 8 damage that we probably shouldn't. 8 or 7, 8 or 9. We could be on like 13 to 15 health right now instead. But of course, they might have done different things too. But I would have definitely considered. Because keep in mind, like 2 spelling is always a really powerful thing in limited play. When you only 1 spell and they respond to it and deal with it wholly, like they did on all these turns, you just continuously lose. You're just behind in tempo, so you're never catching up. And because you're on the draw, I always feel like if I can get to the point where I can kind of flip flip the tempo of the game into my favor, it forces them to have to make the plays that you're kind of feeling like you're stuck doing. But you had 2 options, so ideally you'd really like to be able to keep Angelic Intervention up because that's sort of your turn card. But there's a decent amount of pressure with Rumble. If he had nothing else in his hand. They had no other creatures. Game's going to slow down, and maybe you can draw some of your better stuff. And then you didn't have like a stacked deck, but I mean, these extra tokens, these do have meaning. It's just they're never going to flip because there's not enough time left in the game. Oh God, what is this? What the heck just happened? Oh, they tap you down. Oh goodness! So they stunned your Norn. Why haven't they stunned this guy? This guy can still flip a token. Well, they were kind to let you still flip a token. And they're attacking with everything, so what can they just flip the... Okay, so you flip them, alright, cool. Norn flips one, yep, and there's, yep, here's the Pharaoh's Dispersal. That's the card I was talking about earlier. And this is just a loss, yeah. You're just too far behind in tempo, so, I mean, your best shot at winning this game was Realm Breakering stuff immediately, because, like, what would slow them down? Instead of them removing your token, they use a Pharos to basically cancel out one of your Realm Breakers, and if it's not attacking, it costs them 3 mana, which slows them down. They're down to 1 card, so maybe they could do something with it. I'll take a look at one more. Maybe we're on the draw here. I'll see how this is. Whoops. This was a disaster. Oh, opening hand. Again, it's a bit of a pain. We don't have a 2-drop. So our 2-drop is pacify their card. But we're on the draw. Maybe it works out. Ideally, we'd rather play the shark first, and then pacify to get the free token. Hello, 79. Sorry. All right. Oh, great. They start with Captive Weird, one of the best cards in the set. It's going great. We don't have a 2-drop. Oh no. So this is the right call in my opinion. We don't have anything else we can play right now. Putting it on the Captive Weird is almost better than putting it on the port. Like this is already rough that you wasted. So you don't, unlike the last game, you only have 1 removal in your hand. On their turn, they're likely going to drop a land here, the 3rd land, flip this Captive Weird, and they're going to be very far ahead of you because you're potentially stuck on 3 mana. I'm assuming they have 3 mana. Maybe they don't, but I'm just going to assume that. Okay, so you're going to get the 3 mana. You're going to play the Shark, which I guess blocks this guy. Like you don't necessarily have a lot of options here, but I would have considered putting it on the Weird and just letting them ramp into what they're into, or just passing turn 2, because if they're going to ramp into something, like generally this color combo in this set, people are wanting to drop big 5 and 6 drops. Your only defense, maybe if they drop that 6/5 trample dude, you don't have any way to deal with that because you're not going to get in. You're not going to beat him by flying. You're going to eventually have to get a knight, and you'll tap him for 1 extra turn. But I mean, don't be afraid so much to if you're going to take 4 damage. The only pain is like, okay, I guess you take a little more damage and you lose the mana for the turn, but chances are with only one of these pacifies in hand and it's really your only removal suite, you might want to wait on green ramp until they actually play their big boy, because maybe they only have 1 big boy in hand, or it's a lot of small dudes. Oh god, they played the shark. Oh no, this is bad. Shark versus shark. They're gonna probably kill another portent. So now see here, it's like this. Okay, it's shark versus shark, which is fine. If you still had this in hand, you're actually not looking too bad. You're up on life. I mean, this is not looking too bad right now. And you also, if you held out, that was the other thing. Remember, I noted at the start, this Realm Breaker, non-creature spell, you get a free token with it. Whoops! Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright. You get a free token. So waiting for that payoff when all you're going to do, don't be afraid to pay 3 life for something when you're on 20. Like if it's to buy you time, that's what your life is for. Okay, we play that. Play this really sad Billy Rider. Whoa, what the heck is this? Oh, Inga. Oh lordy. Oh lordy, that's... Well, this is just pain. You're in a really bad position here. And then they played Rata for +2/+2, whatever. This Inga is going to make you lose this game very quickly. So your Pacify doesn't even work here. Yikes. So these guys all tap for mana, whatever. I mean, they're going to play every card in their hand for the rest of the game. It's really, how do we not get run over? No attacks? I didn't see what that was. It didn't look like many attacks. Oh god, they have this, the Boar, whatever his name is. This is the one that discards lands to deal damage. He also basically has permanent evasions. You can never pacify this card, which is that's not going to work. Well, this is just a flat-out disaster. The only way you're ever getting something, you can't even get by the Chrome Shark. You have to make like 1,000,000 tokens. This game looks very over. Oh, great! And then they stasis field. You think you're just this is just. Looks like you may have resigned from here. I wouldn't say the game was over from here, but this card basically ruins your entire deck. You would have to play your tricks very carefully to find a way to kill this card, and they're probably never. What a rough one. I just did we look at this one? And what do we got here? Last one. So we start again. I really think what hurts you with a lot of this is you don't have 2-drops. Like really need to have lots of 1s and 2-drops. Like I don't know for sure what the exact number should be. Like 8 or 10 in like white blue is like you certainly need at least a minimum 6, and probably for draft probably about 8 is about right. And certainly not a lot of expensive cards. All right, so we got our one night. I almost wouldn't want to play it on turn. Hello, 17 lands. I almost wouldn't want to play it on turn 2 because I would really want to protect it with this surge. I'd probably skip turn 2 and this is if this gets removed, you're screwed. Okay, you lucked out a little bit. And now we just hold up defense. Oh no, the ship. Wait. Oh, end of their turn, you tapped it. Got it. Okay, they flip the card. And now we're in trouble because they can just start attacking. Okay, wait a second. They decided to not attack with the ship. Okay. So we're hoping that nothing bad happens to us here because they have 2 mana up. If they volcanic spite you here, oh, you can just block it. It does also get a counter, right? That's why I like that one a little bit better. Okay, so they lose the token. Tap the thing down. Pass. Ship. And we're going to have to attempt this again. Hopefully we won't get blown out. Okay, good. At 17, that's fine. We're really vulnerable here because of this. That card flipping, and now I think if this one dies, if this guy goes down, then we have to sack our dude, and we don't have a way to protect it. Okay, so knights get +1/+1. Okay, we got the 2/4 double striker. Makes it a little bit harder for them to attack. Pacify that guy. Okay, play the knight thing. We're really far behind right now. Oh no. Okay, cool. Cut short blocks. Gives protection. And now we're kind of in top deck mode. Oh no, did they would. Oh no. So Vigi +2/+2. Why didn't they activate the ship first? Oh, because they just get double strike. Okay. Well, they intended on making the ship work. They should have activated the ship first. What the heck is this? So they're sacking a card to flip the ability. This only gets you 2 3/2s. Remember this? At least one other creature token. So they band with each other, basically give each other a token. Okay, we're gonna play another one of these. This is oh no. This card I don't see very often, so I'm gonna assume this is quite good. It deals X+2. Maybe this card isn't that good. Did it just reset? Oh. So they did some damage to us, but nothing else. Oh, and we resigned. We resigned from there. Were we supposed to resign here? It is looking kind of bad. I'm not sure why we resigned here. But I mean, it's from 15. These both attack to become 4/3s. Ship. I mean, the ship double striker would just kill the ship. They don't really have anything here. You're on 15. You should at least see what the next draw is, but your deck is a little bit, you know, not particularly strong, so I get it. But, like, draw the Zerex, and maybe we're playing. Maybe we draw the Protocol Knight, maybe we're playing. I wouldn't have given up here so soon. You could have found a win here. But probably maybe just a little bit frustrated, because it was a rough draft. So I don't know. I hope that helps, Bueno. Send me another, you know, go back, play some, and I don't know. I would avoid the blue-white, because it's just not very good. But particularly, the Bola Slinger guy, you saw zero of those. I know you saw zero of them, because I would not even be playing this archetype without that card, and certainly not without like generally if I want to be playing this archetype, I've seen like 3 or 4 of the +1 knight guys. The gold card, this guy is of here. There's just not, and then a whole bunch of these cavaliers too, because they're very forcing with the first strike rule on them with more knights. There's not a lot here to really want to be playing, you know, the white blues. Like final thoughts, like I don't know. I always kind of change it based on the draft set. Like the first week of this set, I wasn't picking my colors till middle of pack 2. Now I'm picking them a lot sooner. I tend to not play white or red in this set because I just really don't find them very good. And I just basically take the best cards for the first pack or so. But I'm generally leaning towards playing like something blue, green, black. And then if I ended up with something really good in white or red, I'm either going to try to splash it or I'll just start trying to build a deck around it. But it's generally 2 colors of the 3 aforementioned ones, minus red and white. And if I end up with a really good splash, like the Vat Keeper and stuff, I'll find a way to splash it with the Wild Growth Land thing, the enchantment, the 2 green enchantment, the Blighted, whatever it is, that gives you Incubate and a extra mana you're choosing. The Skitterer, the bike. There's a lot of ways to splash, like an easy thing to splash. Don't try to splash double pip in this set; it's really hard to do. Unless you know with something really special. But yeah, I would just focus on that and try to avoid don't like. Sometimes you're gonna need good filler, and like oh yeah, the other thing is pick up 2-drops. Like no matter what color pair I'm doing in this set, I want at least 6 2-drops. You can include your ones in there too, but really like 8. And in a deck like this that's trying to aggro run somebody over, you really need like 10. Of course, they can be wishy-washy. Like you have some really strong 3s that flip the table or something that you can kind of, but you really don't want to miss 2. And basically, all the games you lost, you only had 1 creature. The other thing is, only had like 14 creatures. These kind of decks, I really want to have spells that are particularly effective. Like Aerial Boost is a way to get in damage, flip a really important battle, or just win the game outright, or to surprise like somebody's Supreme Champion and shut them down. That aerial boost is a really strong card in this particular archetype, white blue knights. Sometimes just don't see the cards you need for this. This is why archetype I don't find very good, because you didn't see the cards that you need, and so there you go. All right, best of luck in your next one, Bueno.